So here Hobin has challenged Han for Rumi's sake and exposed One Punch TV, which has made Han very angry. And here, on the other hand, Kaul has challenged Gyol so that she can also take revenge for Rumi. So, will our novice fighters be able to face these professional boxers? Or this time, along with our hero, our editor is also going to get beaten up. So let's see what happens next. Then we see a scene from some time ago where Guile is doing leg exercises wearing a face mask.
Her name is Kyo, right? I told Rumi that I was going to beat someone up. But what will happen if she turns out to be a trained martial artist? Because if that happens, my whole face will be ruined. I only learned fighting techniques for self-defense, so how will I be able to compete with them?
Then Gaul's father starts calling her to eat, but Gaul refuses because she is working out.
Why are you working out right now? If you're doing this to get taller, you should eat before you work out.
I'm not working out for that reason. And anyway, my height is short because of your genes, so stop disturbing me. If Tilda's trained in some martial art, then boxing is an option that is at least not too bad.
Then we see the fight between Kaul and Kyol.
When I found out that Kyo was a boxer, I felt a little better. But she turned out to be a street fighter.
Then we see that Kyol has made notes from Samdak's videos about street fighting, where Samdak had told her that she would have to keep two things in mind while fighting with street fighters. The first is that in street fighting, no one knows what the opponent is going to do, because it happens in a place where people fight without a referee, and a street fighter can also use weapons. Then, here, Gyal also starts attacking Gyal wearing spiked rings, which Gyal is trying to avoid. And she is surprised to see that Kyol is punching with only one hand, which makes her think that Kyol's other hand is very badly hurt. And then, Kaul takes advantage of this and grabs Kyol.
If you think I can't throw punches, don't forget that I can still use my elbows.
Then Kyol hits Kaul's back with a strong elbow, which makes her fall down, and Kyol gets on top of her. Then we find out that this is the second thing Samdak had warned about, because a street fighter always attacks their opponent by throwing them on the ground. Then Kyol starts punching Kaul, but we see that Kaul had already trained for this by watching Samdak's video, and with the help of the leg exercises she did at night, she kicks Kyol hard and starts choking her by holding her.
Women may be very flexible, but no one can escape a chokehold. So now I will beat you until you learn your lesson.
Then we see Samdak's video, where he has explained about fighting with an infighter.
Infighters always fight by getting close to their opponent, so that they can push them into a corner and put pressure on them. And if you want to know about infighters, we can call Mike Tyson an infighter. There are also sluggers in boxing, and for them the power and weight of their punches matter a lot. Boxing is a combat sport that is based on punches, and it is considered very effective for real fighting. So, do you think a novice can even win against a boxer? Well then, today I will tell you how a novice who has never had professional training can win against an infighter. For this, you will now have to walk on both your hands and feet.
Then Hobin starts doing that because he has read about Han and knows that he has won all his 58 matches, and in them, he has knocked out his opponent 44 times. Because of this, Hobin thinks that he is an infighter because Han doesn't even have the weight class required for a slugger. Then Snapper also comes to meet Hobin, and he is very surprised to see Hobin doing such strange things. And it seems to him as if a cockroach is moving around. Then Hobin explains to him that through this technique, he can win against the person who knocked out Manji.
You know, even though you look very weird walking on your hands and feet, in reality it is a full-body workout. And if you do this exercise with full form, you will feel that your core muscles, breathing capacity, and your flexibility have also increased. If you want to make your punches powerful, then you have to make your core muscles strong. And to not get tired quickly, you also have to increase your stamina. So if anyone still has doubts about this exercise, I will tell you that the name of this exercise is the bear crawl.
Then here Han is very surprised to see Hobin like this, and the subscribers also do not understand anything. They are just waiting to see what Hobin is going to do, and Snapper is also excited for this reason. Then Hobin starts moving around Han, which makes Han even more confused, and Hobin starts to growl.
If you want to defeat a boxer, you have to become a beast, and you have to take inspiration from those people who defeat their opponents by throwing them on the ground. And I am talking about wrestlers. Wrestlers train their core a lot so that they can tackle their opponent and also save themselves from losing. Wrestlers are very tough opponents for infighters, because infighters do not know how to escape from a tackle. So let me now tell you how to win a fight against an infighter, and why I told you to do the bear crawl.
Then we see Hobin trying to grab Han's legs, because what Samdak taught him is an upgraded version of the double leg tackle. Because even the best boxers cannot punch on the floor, which makes it easier to defeat infighters. But then, we see that Han avoids this attack from Hobin and hits Hobin with a strong punch, which makes Hobin unable to understand how an infighter can escape from his tackle. Because of this, Hobin starts to feel that maybe he was wrong about Han. Because of this, he also starts to feel that maybe Han is not an infighter. Then we find out that Han is very dangerous in Juvenile Hall, where he has beaten up a lot of people. And actually, he is an outboxer who hits his opponent by creating distance. The subscribers are also very surprised to see that Han is an outboxer.
So now I have taught you that you can defeat an infighter with an upgraded version of the double leg tackle. And this is because the infighter comes close to you. But think for a moment. If you have to face an outboxer, how will you defeat him? Because outboxers are very fast, which is why a novice can never tackle them.
Then Hobin tries to grab Han, but Han, while avoiding his attack, hits him with a strong punch, seeing which everyone is surprised. And everyone starts to feel that Hobin will not be able to win.
Hobin, are you okay? Why on earth? A guy like Han is fighting for Gaul?
Then everyone starts to think that maybe Han is Gaul's boyfriend, which is why he's fighting for her. But then Han tells everyone that he is Gaul's brother, and everyone starts telling Han that if he's her brother, he should have disciplined his little sister, not defended her. Then Hobin stands up again.
I've managed to get back up somehow, but I don't think everything's going to be okay, because my opponent is an outboxer.
I'll judge my sister's actions myself, but I want to tell you one thing. You can't get near my sister.
Then we are shown the Juvenile Detention Center, and it's the only juvenile facility in the country that has permission to form a boxing team. And that boxing team's name is the Chungwol Boxing Team. Then we see all the juvenile prisoners gathered for exercise, and we see their training is so intense that it becomes a form of torture for them, which makes them very dangerous. Then we see their coach here, who has trained Han and wants to make him a champion. Then here, Han starts beating Hobin very badly.
Analytical. The double leg takedown may have been upgraded, but it still won't work on an outboxer, because a novice can never tackle an outboxer.
Seeing Hobin getting beaten up, Snapper doesn't understand what's happening, and he starts getting very emotional. And then everyone is surprised to see Hobin, because Hobin gets into a boxing stance so that he can face Han. But no one understands why Hobin is doing this, because he can never win while boxing against a professional outboxer.
Takedowns may be a threat to boxers, but a novice can never tackle a professional outboxer. So let me tell you how to defeat an outboxer.
Then we see the past, where Hobin has come to learn the jab and straight punch from Taehun.
You're going to fight against a professional boxer, right? So why do you want to learn 1-2 punches?
I just want to do this, so you'll teach me, right?
I'll teach you, but if you keep staying so far away from me, how will you learn?
You just stay away from me. As soon as you get close to me, I feel like everything turns into Taekwondo.
Then, Taehun starts teaching Hobin the basic form so that he can put power into his punches and also protect his jaw.
For the jab, you have to punch in a straight line, and you have to do it very quickly. And this is much faster than a novice's punch, because when a novice throws a punch, he swings his arms, which wastes a lot of time. But yeah, a jab doesn't have much power. It's just used to check how far you can punch. And with it, you can also corner your opponent. But remember one thing, whenever you throw a jab, you have to guard yourself as well.
I think after seeing you and Kim, I've understood what I have to do now. So now, I'll throw a jab with my left hand and a straight punch with my other hand. This is even more uncomfortable than I thought.
What on earth are you doing? When you throw a straight punch, you have to rotate your hip too, you idiot.
You got close to me again. I told you to stay away from me, didn't I?
Hobin attacks Han in the same way, and Han hits him with a powerful uppercut, which makes Snapper and everyone else think that nothing can be done for Hobin, because he doesn't even know how to box.
Hobin, what on earth are you doing? Why aren't you using any other technique?
Then we find out that Hobin isn't using any other technique, because he realizes that none of his techniques will work on Han.
You must be thinking that boxing won't work against an outboxer. How dare you think that? Do you think I'm that stupid? Of course, I know that a novice can't beat an outboxer. So the boxing we're doing is just a diversion. You've now mastered the beginner level technique, so it's time to level up. Now I'm going to teach you a new technique, which is a combination, and it's also used in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. When you try to hit your opponent with jabs and straight punches, all his attention will be on your fists, which is why you can use the single leg tackle combination on him.
Then Hobin also uses this technique, which allows him to catch one of Han's legs, and Han is very surprised to see this. Then we see that Tae-hoon is also watching Hobin's stream, which makes him understand why Hobin learned basic boxing moves. And he starts to think that the practice Hobin did by crawling on his hands and feet was to learn this single leg combination. Then Manji also starts to believe in Hobin, that he will handle this. Then Kim and his friends are also watching Hobin's stream, where they start to think that now Hobin will defeat Han, because boxers don't know how to tackle. But then suddenly Kim is very surprised, and here Snapper and the other subscribers are also very surprised, because Han has escaped Hobin's takedown.
I thought Han was an outboxer. So how is a takedown not working on it?
Boxers are weak against takedowns, and when someone successfully tackles them, they have a full chance of winning. But let me tell you, Hobin, in Juvenile, there were many people who thought the same way. That place was a hell, where if your focus wavered even for a short time, you would be defeated very badly. People there used to try to tackle me because they knew what my weakness was, and because of that, they defeated me by tackling me 100 times. But let me tell you, because of this, I have also won by escaping 100 takedowns. So now, I have automatically learned to counter. I have realized that if I bend my knee down and push my opponent, I can escape from a takedown. You probably thought that you would defeat me by tackling me because it works against other boxers, but it's not going to work on me.
Then, Kim also realizes that Hobin can't win against a boxer on whom a takedown doesn't work, which is why he stops the streaming.
I thought so, that this wouldn't work.
Everyone is surprised to hear this.
By the way, there is no boxer who can save himself from this single leg takedown. But if you find such a boxer, then that boxer must have lost many times due to takedowns. In a martial arts match and a normal fight, it's common that you always have to be prepared for the worst case scenario. So you also have to prepare to fight against the boxer against whom a takedown doesn't work. So if the single leg takedown doesn't work, then you have to know about pressure points. If you succeed in attacking the pressure points, your opponent can feel a lot of pain.
Then, Hobin directly attacks Han's leg with his Muay Thai elbow strike.
This is how a novice defeats an outboxer.
And with this part is complete. Now the link to the next part will be appearing on your screen. Click on it to watch the next part.